Right, good morning. This is a bit of a weird one today because I'm not actually live. I've pre-recorded this. Last week the video was very jerky and it was really hard to watch, and even when I watched back the recording it was still jerky on the recording, so that's not much use. So we're trying it different this time, so I've set up this as a pre-recorded video, and then we'll do it as a watch party. So I'll be online, but I'll be commenting in the comments. So I'll be replying to your comments as you write them below. So do write things and say hello. Do say if you're here. I'm going to go, hi Ben, hi Leo. Who else is usually here? Hey Arjun. You guys are always here, so I'm going to say hello to you because I'm assuming you're here again. But please do comment below, say your hello, and I will reply to you, and you'll see me messaging and stuff rather than speaking on here to say hello, which is going to be a little bit weird. But hopefully it will help with the actual process of what we're doing. So today we are building zip lines. Last week we did Vehicles of the Future, and hopefully you saw, I say hopefully because I'm recording this one directly after doing the last one, so I don't know whether you've sent any pictures in yet. I think there's one in my inbox, so somebody sent one in already. So I will look at those later. But yeah, so last week, Vehicles of the Future. Today, it's kind of vehicles again, but we're going to use a zip line. So you can see up behind me here, I have set up my zip line. There it is. So I've tied it to shelves up there, and I've tied it to those shelves down there. So I'm going to build something to slide down my zip line. Okay, so there are various ways of doing the connecting to zip line. So let's have a look at some of the pieces we could have used. Okay, so you can use windows. I've got a couple of windows here. Now, not quite as easy when you've actually tied it on, because you've got to be able to pass the string through the hole. Okay, so if you've already attached it, you've got to unattach it to put the string through and then reattach it again. Okay, but they're quite good. So the window pieces, okay, work quite nicely. Similarly, these pieces here work very well. It's a very similar way to the windows in that they pass the string through the holes. Okay, they don't attach by as much. They've only got two studs on the bottom. I'll show you the grey one. It shows up better. There's only two studs on the bottom, so it's not as well attached. They're a bit more flimsy, but they do work. And then these little ones as well. These, again, very similar. So they work. But of course, you can do brick built as well. So you know, arch pieces work really well. Okay, you can always make your arch piece a little bit taller if you need to. Okay, so you can use arches for the string to slide through, or you can just, there's no reason why you can't just build one out of bricks. Okay, now just get he says not being surrounded by Lego and can't find any bricks. So I am, even though this is pre-recorded, I am doing it just the same as I would do a live one. I've not done loads of prep and loads of here's what I made earlier, and here's a video I videoed earlier. Not doing any of that. Okay, so you could just make a brick built hole as well. You may well, that's nice and secure, decent clutch power on your bricks. Okay, and then it depends on how then heavy you build whatever it is that's going to go down your zip line. Will then depend on how well these hold. Okay, if you make something really, really heavy, they're going to fall off, aren't they? Okay, so try and think when you're building, how heavy should you build whatever it is you're building. Okay, so I'm going to go with this size. Okay, so we're going to build something that's going to go down zip line. So not dissimilar from what we did. It's almost like what we did last week, but making it fly. So Let's see what bits I've got. I'm going to use these again like I did last week. I like these. They're going underneath. I want to be able to have a man in it. So Robin Hood's going in there. I want a moving back a little bit. Build this front end up slightly. There he is, he's going in there. But my key thing is, I need to be able to get some sort of arches above his head. My string needs to go higher than his head, doesn't it? I can't have my string going through there. So there's no point in me fixing this, going, oh, I'm going to put the string through there. That's not going to work, because we can see that the string would have to pass through Robin Hood's body. So that's no good at all. Okay, so I need to be able to get that up there. So I need some building up. Now you can do this just with one point to hang, but you want to get, if you're only having one, it's going to be fairly well balanced. Otherwise, it's just going to do that. I only have one pivot point. Yeah, it's going to end up hanging from that pivot point, and the back end's going to end up hitting the string, and it'll work. A brake won't work. Okay, so I find two better, one at the front, one at the back, something like that. Okay, and then it will work. Now that actually, that black one there on the front like that is high enough. The string will pass over Robin Hood's head, so that's good. So then I want this back one needs, only because it's a taller window, only needs to be one brick higher, I think. There we go. They are level. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a piece on top as well. Don't have to, but that should hopefully just make it all a bit more rigid. Okay, they're quite well attached. They're not going to come off. Okay, so there is my first attempt at a vehicle. Now, what we're going to do is go back to this camera and see how well this shows up on the camera. Can you see? Yes, right. I'm going to have to untie it, of course, because I've used Windows. So, untie my string. There we go. So I've untied it. So I'm going to pass my string. I've got quite a thick string. Pass my string through there, like that. So that's the idea. Just going to do that. Whee! We'll see if we can do it from up here. Right. 3, 2, 1. Whee! Did you see it go past? It went a bit quick, didn't it? It worked though. Oh, I've got to find it now. Oh, there. It worked, but you didn't see it very well, did you? See if I can do it again here. There you go. I think I might do it in front of me rather than tie it up now, because it's a bit far away from the camera. So that works. So there's my first little attempt at a zipline car. So have a go, build your own, see what yours. Now it doesn't have to be a car; it could be something. You could do some sort of aeroplane thing. Let's see what we can. See if I can come up with an. Right, so we're going to attempt if we can make it. There we go. So I'm making I don't have a big enough piece, so I'm joining two pieces together with another piece underneath. Can you see that? There you go. To make it longer, then that's my wingspan. Those are then my wings, which are going to go on the bottom of my vehicle, like that. There it is. Ugh. Squish, 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 squish. There we go. So there is my vehicle. I'm going to put rocket on either wing. Like that. I'm going to sack Robin off for this one. Robin Hood's not driving. I'm going to have a spaceman driving it because I think it's much more spaceship-like. I'm going to put a long spaceship type nose on the front. I want go for that. You'll see when I do things like this, I often just nick. I've got bits of half-built models lying around the place, so I often just nick bits off other things I've already built. See that? See now what I've done here though, I've made the classic mistake. So I've built this looks quite nice. I quite like the look of it. Problem is I've not built anywhere to put string. So I'm now going to have to work out how I'm going to do my string. So if I use an arch there, is that going to be strong enough? Yeah, but you see one arch isn't going to work. I need to have two, so I need another one at the front. So that's too low. So I'm going to have to put that up there. So I need somewhere, I know, another couple of those. What to do with box those then? Right. This should give me the height I need. There. It loses it. You could possibly design something that looks slightly better. It spoils the design a little bit. But we've got two connectors now. Hopefully at this point you've all been commenting below and I've been replying to your comments below. And we're all saying hello. So I hope you're all with us. So now with this one, if I did have my string still tied up, you see, it'd be quite easy because I could just take the holding force piece, take the arch bits off, and then I could put my arch bits back on over the top of the string, and then it would stay on, and then I wouldn't have to untie it. Obviously, because I've already untied it, it doesn't make any difference because I can just poke it through, so it's fine. Right, are we on? Yes, I think so. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? See if I'm going to go there. Went a bit quick, didn't it, to the camera? Oh, I know. Let's change back to this camera. There we go. That's why. I thought it looked better last time. There. So, up we come. String there, string there. See, flies look nicely, look. Backwards, forwards. That works quite nice. I've done two. I've done just quite a simple like boxy one with the window pieces. Okay, I've done a bit more of a artistic spaceshipy one. Okay, if you've got a big Star Wars collection, maybe you can modify a Star Wars. Be careful if it's big. Don't do it with the UCS Millennium Falcon or something like that and drop it and break it. But one of your smaller Star Wars ships, you might be able to add a couple of arches to the top and enable you to fly that. Okay, so do send us pictures of your models, maybe even, because these are moving, maybe even some videos. Some people sent videos in of the balloon powered cars, so this is another one that would work really well if you videoed and sent them in, and we could see what you'd got up to. Okay, so there's a couple of, I mean, you could go much smaller. You could make it, like a one-person zip line. We'll get Robin Hood back for this one. I don't want to. It's tough. You've got to. So let's see. That might be just a little bit too small. There we go. That. So I've got Robin Hood sat on there, and then if I get, how tall does it need to be? That big. I might make it one bigger. There we go. And then I need a top. Yeah. Something really simple. That will work. It will probably just work with one connector as well, because it's quite small, so it's not going to tilt around or anything. So there it is, look. See, that's your problem. It was a bit bouncy jerky, and they fell off. What's going to be better? What's going to work better? I don't know. See if my brick built one works a bit better. Look at that. That's not sliding, is it? That's no good. This isn't like, maybe it's not heavy enough, or too heavy, or I don't know. Let's try one of these, because these worked really well on my spaceship. So let's see if the arches work. There we go. That's better. Still broke it off though. So the so you have to try different things, you see what works best for you. Now the problem is getting the, see, it does still get stuck, look. I think part of the problem is, if you look, see if I can show you, it is catching when you do the thing. So it's got friction on the arch here, but also the string is catching here on the front of the thing. So I think it's working a bit like a brake. So it's just sitting. So you've got to get the angle right, and then the angle's not enough for actually to get it to slide. So let's try that. Perfect. See, show it on this camera now. This one, that works. Whee! Go to the camera. So you've got to try different things to see what happens. Now, I think what I needed there, I needed the gap to be taller, because my string was catching That's because I've only got one of these, you see. It was catching on the actual carriage, and that ended up working like a brake, so it wouldn't slide. Whereas when we had the bigger models with 2, you didn't have that problem. That's the advantage of having 2 connectors, because the strings run that, so it doesn't catch anything underneath. So actually this might just work better. I'm going to go back to these. Why am I showing that camera on this camera now? I'm going to show you back to these ones. See if having 2 of them, one on the front and one on the back. See? Nah. Does that work? See, that works quite nicely now. The only problem is, which you can't see on this camera, it fell off. Because they don't hold on very well, these ones. But it did work. So, try different things. Okay? So you might want to try 1 connector or 2 connectors. You might want to try different types of connectors. I wonder if these ones, I haven't tried these ones, are these going to be better? So I'm going to slide them onto the string first. They're a bit small, I don't know whether they're going to work. Because my string's really fat. I've got a really big fat string, look, it only just goes through the holes. Yeah, that doesn't really work. I think there's just too much friction. It only just fits through the. Yeah, it's literally rubbing top and bottom of those. My string is too wide for that to work. Might work with a thinner string. I just happen to have a shoelace here. Ah, see, it works nicely on a shoelace. Ah, well, kind of nicely. There you go. Sometimes. So, thickness of string, gaps between your connectors. Okay, all those sort of things are going to affect how well it works. All right, so try different ideas. If the first thing you build doesn't work, try something else. Okay, have a play. If you and your brother or your sister are all doing them, maybe do a race. Maybe time them. See who goes fastest down the rope. Down your bit of string. So those are the 3. So I've just done a little one-man, almost like a lift, that works. I've done just simple little car using the window pieces. The string to pass through. That worked quite nicely. And I did slightly flashier. I mean, I could keep building my actual rocket part, make these little bits look quite so odd. And then I used arches for those. That's worked quite nicely. Okay. So, do your own thing. See what you can come up with. Send me in the pictures. Write your comments. Hopefully this watch party instead of live feed has worked well today, and we shall see after this how we go about next week, whether we do it live or whether we do one of these again. I want them to be as useful and good to watch as possible. So hopefully next week we are going to build catapults. Ooh. Catapults are good fun. What you could do with, the best thing for catapults to fire are ping pong balls, because they fly quite well because they're nice and light, but they don't do any damage because they're nice and light. You start firing heavy things around, you break things. We don't want to be doing that. Okay, so if you can find a ping pong ball, or even just something soft, a cotton wool ball would fire nicely off a catapult. So whatever, see if you can find something to, and I'll put a little video together of some other bits and pieces. If you've got some Technic pieces for catapults, they're really good. You know, the bricks with the holes in. that would make life better, easier. Okay, but if you haven't got Technic pieces, just hinge pieces, the wheel pieces. Go back to this screen. These, it's not the wheels, but these bits. Okay, because they've got these. Obviously, you then need the Technic brick with the hole in. One of these and a couple of Technic pieces with holes in to connect that to, and you've got your pivot for your catapult. Okay, if you've also got elastic bands, we can make them elastic band powered catapults. It's even better. But it depends what you've got. So that is going to be next week's build. Okay, so have fun, send me pictures, and we shall see you soon.